number one thing, like this thing worked for me. Like just before every day after you wake up na, say yourself strongly, I must do something today, I must revise a topic I'm good at, or I must learn something new, something I must do some change today. And just at the night time na, say to yourself, marks don't matter, I matter to myself more and all. Like do it every day. That would be my primary message. And second thing, learn to write exam in rounds, because when you are adapted to write in rounds now, even if you don't get a question in the first turn, you'll be like, okay fine, I can do it in second or third time. Like when you are used to do the exam in rounds, it will be very easy for you. Like I can do that question in the second time, I can do that question in the third time. So
Hello guys, welcome to Chamomile Tea with Toppers, an initiative by Unacademy. I am Tanu Katia, your host, and today we are here to meet NEET 2021 topper Shashank, who has secured All India rank 5 in his first attempt. So let's meet him. Hi Shashank, how are you?
fine.
So Shashank, before we proceed into the episode, आप प्लीज़ अपने बारे में कुछ बताइए. कहाँ से हैं आप? आपकी फैमिली बैकग्राउंड क्या है?
I'm Shashank Khandavally. I'm from Andhra, actually border of Andhra and Telangana, like a district called Kurnool, a bit rural side. Till 10th, I'm from SSC board. Till 10th, my education happened in there itself. Then for intermediate, I went to Hyderabad for 11th and 12th. Then luckily I got into AIIMS. Now currently I'm studying in AIIMS.
How did you decide to become a doctor? Like what motivated you?
Man, like I don't know whether I should say this or not. Something really bad happened to my family. My daddy's sister, like she suffered, like suddenly after 2 days she felt unconscious. We don't know what we could do. Like we showed to all the doctors in our village, like literally everyone. Then there was no use. Then we went to Hyderabad. Like we came to know there was a cerebral hemorrhage. And then for 20 days she was in ICU. Then she died. Like the most depressing part is now, for 3 days we literally roamed every doctor in our village, but like they just gave some painkillers, some some even gave a pack of glucose पिलो ठीक हो जाएगा. Like
no proper medical facilities.
More like ma'am क्या होता है ना, like well educated doctors, maybe they feel like either for respect or some money issues they prefer to stay in a big city or to a foreign country. Like but जन लोग ही है ना, जनता तो जनता ही है. Like be it a rural place, be it a city.
Correct.
ऐसा नहीं है कि शहर का वाले को ही मेडिकेशन मिलना है, जैसा कुछ रूल नहीं है ना. Like when that thing happens to your family now, like it's so depressing, I guess. I wanted, like at least I will try to change the situation somehow. I decided likewise. Like this thing happened just after my 10th. Till that I was more like a well guy. Matlab, like never actually hardly focused on studies. So I was like, Papa mujhe padna hai. I don't want to, like I know if, like it's a harsh fact, but to really do good now, it's too tough if you're from a, like if your schooling happened in a rural place. So I had to move to a city, so I chose Hyderabad because it's Telugu rather than Bangalore or something.
Correct. So how was your shift change? Like how difficult was it for you to change from like going to from Kannur to Hyderabad? How difficult it was?
Language issues, not so much. Like Hyderabadi Deccani Urdu is like a bit of non-proper Hindi. And like in Kurnool Urdu you can easily get it, and like it's same Telugu, so it's so good. Like language issues were nothing, but the main problem is na, our school to naam ke vaste English medium school, but most of the time we used to speak in Telugu and all. This is particularly an issue faced by SSC board, like every student I guess. Like if you have got no coaching now, like most of the 10th class you will be deriving that root 7 is irrational something, once you go to intermediate now, like they claim that easiest chapter of physics, straight line motion and all, they require all the integration differentiation stuff where there is no hints of basic till there.
Oh, okay.
Like, and they claim that those are the easiest topics. Like we don't even have basics for the easiest topics there.
Okay.
And hostel was a bit new fun. Like the toughest part is now, like I badly wanted to do some change and it was this thing happens with every student, I guess. Like who had no coaching now, like that shift from 10th to intermediate is so vast.
Yeah, it completely changes the syllabus, the pattern, and the material wise also, the depth of the chapters. It completely changes.
Exactly. Like there is no actual proper sense in having a system like this. Like there should be a graduation na? Like till 10th, like it's so simple, and then suddenly intermediate they come up with differentiation, integration and all in the very basic chapter. Like
does not make sense.
Like it's too tough for me.
Okay.
At least.
So then let's take from 11th itself. You were facing so many challenges, as you told कि आपको बहुत दिक्कत हो रहा था. So how did you cope up with? And then you started your preparation from 11th itself. So then how were you able to manage class 11th? That too was very difficult for you. And then starting this preparation, which is all itself is a very big task to prepare for MBBS. So how were you managing that?
Frankly speaking, around 8 months I had like, when it comes to only education, I had like severe adjustment issues. Like I didn't try so hard because I was kind of depressed maybe. I decided myself I can't do this. Well, literally like I don't know how many of students actually feel this, but कभी-कभी मुझे लगता है कि I'm not made for this thing. Well, like those things which they teach in 11th and 12th now, like that uplift now, that gap is utna high tha ki I gave up. Like even like when the exam results are used to announce, I used to bunk classes and hide in the washroom for some time. Like suddenly, like someday I decided like I cannot escape thing. Like जो होना है वो तो हो पाएगा. Like I will give my best somehow. Then like there were a few barriers. Like like few students actually like they are so demotivated that like they can't even go to ask to a teacher or more to even a fellow friend. They feel like I'm asking this dumb question. What will the other guy feel about me? Like crossing that barrier now, that thing help improve. Like that thing helps a lot. Like once you literally make up your mind, I should do something, I should change something.
Correct.
And my average at the first exam I wrote, I got 386 marks. Even after around 8 months, like in the first 8 months, my best was 540. My average was around 460 something.
But that's a very good score, like for
a OC guy,
yeah,
it's too tough to get a medical seat even in a state medical college. So
correct. Nowadays the competition and everything has become very
that thing creates even more pressure in the head.
Right.
And it depends on the kind of friend circle. Like few will be so uncooperative. We should like especially like when you get too low now, even teachers see you in a different way.
Correct.
Like unless you are very social and mentally strong, it's too tough to overcome those. I took some time, but I think if I was very stable, I could have did it much faster.
But it's well said, no, whatever ends well is well only. So anyway, you achieved such a great rank. You are studying in AIIMS, so that matters. Right. So you
कभी-कभी मुझे भी लगता है like why was I even sad after those weekend results? Like literally they don't matter.
Correct.
After the final exam, no one cares about them.
Right. So you said you were very demotivated and very low in your initial phase. So how did you actually overcome it? Because there are a lot of people like that. there are a lot of students who face these difficulties when they start. They'll feel like, I cannot do this, I should not do this. So how can a person stay motivated in these situations? Like what tips will you give to our aspirants?
I don't think I did it very stably or something, but somehow I did it. So I think I'm enough wise to give tips.
Yeah.
So I would start like this. First, now mold yourself. Like accept that the exam is hard. The advantage that syllabus is too vast is you need not know every word, like every single. You need not understand everything. Like these things are written by some scientists, authors, or someone like who are actually very well educated. You should understand it. That's it. But it's not like we need to do a PhD about every single chapter or something. In your favorites, you will rock. But if it's not your favorite, just know the limits of the exam. Like I saw a few people just cannot accept the situation. Like some of my friends, they were too good in mechanics. Like yeah, they were solving Irado and all. Like those people of Russia will do PhD from those books. And for JEE Advanced, those are recommended books. But for NEET, I don't think they are. But my friends kept on doing them. But frankly speaking, ma'am, for NEET, like no questions will be asked from it.
Okay.
Like getting molded, like accepting the fact, and focusing more on NCERT. These things will work better. Like don't go too deep if it is not required. And aisa nahi hai ki like just you see a chapter and leave it. No, like you must get the grasp of the, like you must have a good command at least on the most of the as many topics as you can. You should have a command like that much minimum is necessary. Like it's actually very good, like because if it was very easy, everyone could have done in this second. Like there won't be a differentiation.
Yeah, correct.
To get a proper differentiation, we must accept that the syllabus should be too hard.
Right.
And moreover, like this medical field or maybe surgical field, like these things require a pressure management now.
Right.
So maybe it starts from the exam itself, like how to manage the stress and all. And the syllabus too, it has vast areas. Like I came to BPC because I wanted to become a doctor, and if you want to do MBBS from this country, you must clear NEET. But ऐसा नहीं है कि सबको डॉक्टर बनना ही है ना. Like while studying few topics now, like let's just say I had no interest, but some of my friends had actually a real interest in strategies of food management.
Okay.
Few had in biotechnology, like like they actually found their interest throughout this intermediate year, which is very great. So my first tip should be accept that it's very tough. You should do a lot of work even to mildly pass. That is first thing is to accept, and second thing, I'm not sure if it works for everyone, but for me it worked. It's better if you rise up early and sleep early because you'll have more time. Like let's just say I wake up at morning 7 or something. From 8 to 10:30 I can work.
Right.
Schedule start from 6, but happens.
Yeah.
But let's just say if I mold my biocycle to like I wake up 1 a.m. in the afternoon, like and then I almost try to sleep at 11 in the night. I literally have much less time to prepare.
Correct.
So like getting our even schedule molded to it, and we should, and being sincere. And here comes the most important tip. Every morning after you wake up now, like have an affirmation for yourself. Like I deserve much more. Today I woke up, I must do something. I must read a chapter. If not, I must revise. I must do the problem. Like do the most important ones first, then the less important ones. And every night before maybe you go to sleep or having dinner now, like strongly say to yourself, marks don't matter, I matter to myself more. Like my mental health matters to me than these marks. Then end the day, and the next day you start up now. Again start with like today I must do something really great, I must achieve something. And in the night again. This affirmation things helped me a lot. Like when I decided I must change something now, I had no option, so I went out and asked to my teachers, my friends. Maybe went through few embarrassments, but that's fine. They literally happened to my goal.
Correct. So you were saying that there needs to be a proper schedule. Like schedule is very important. So what was your daily schedule during class 11th? How were you managing with coaching and your school? How did you take it up?
I'm from Chaitanya, so actually people who take SSC board are actually lucky, because the exam stream mainly focus on, like let's just say if the state has the state just wants to brag about their pass percentage, like हमारे state से ज़्यादा लोगों ने pass हुआ. To claim that, what they do is they make the papers from previous year questions itself.
Okay.
So when you are from, this works only if you are from SSC stream. So like if you have a proper grasp on last 5 years previous year questions, you can pass the exam. So I didn't focus much on like IP syllabus.
Okay.
Like I did a real effort for NEET, but when it comes to inter-public exam, like when it comes to school part mainly, 1 month before public examinations I worked a lot. And we are even lucky क्योंकि हमारे second year पे ना हुआ ही नहीं, like those marks in the first year they just came in the second year.
Oh.
So this thing again, this works only for SSC people, because and the other streams may not be depressed, because ICSE people na, they literally have much proper foundation when compared with the other two streams. And CBSE people na, the syllabus for them for the public is same as that for NEET.
Yes.
So they can prepare both well. For SSC people na, like they need not stress much about that thing. Well, it's so simple, like just see the past previous year question, you will get more than 70%, so you are eligible for NEET. That is more required na.
Right. So you were mainly focusing, आप अपनी नीट की प्रिपरेशन पे पूरा फोकस कर रहे थे, तो उसमें कैसे आप टाइम डिवाइड कर रहे थे? आपका डे, आप कोई ऐसे प्रॉपर आर वाइज टाइम टेबल बना रहे थे कि सब्जेक्ट वाइज बना रहे थे? होते हैं जैसे कुछ लोग बनाते कि हाँ टाइम डिवाइड करते हैं कि 8 से 9 मैं ये करूँगा, और कुछ लोग होते हैं कि अच्छा मैं आज ये उठ के ये टॉपिक करूँगा. सो व्हाट वाज योर डेली शेड्यूल लाइक?
In the first year itself, most of the first year, which I didn't went so good throughout, I said after 8 months period now,
Yeah.
suddenly there was so much boost. Like at the end of the first year, I hit 620s.
Okay.
Then suddenly, because of intermediate, then again they kept weekends, I again fell down to 540s. But this time I was much chill, because once I reached 620, matlab,
Yeah, you achieved it, so you were thinking,
so
okay, I can achieve.
Maybe
Yeah.
I can achieve.
Correct.
So after some days now, like it went so fine for me, matlab in 540s. But this time I was much more confident. Here comes the thing now, like when I felt low, when I felt much confident, I felt a lot of energy. So when in the night now, like I will just list out what all topics I actually missed. Like let's just say ma'am, like in 12 there will be a topic about DNA fingerprinting and all.
Yeah.
I had, at the first time they said, I had zero idea about it. Like I didn't understand even a word about it. So I just wrote the topic and left it, like because like I had a lot of hopes on revision program and all. But then even the revision program didn't well so good. But for my advantage now, NEET got postponed.
Yeah.
Due to some sad reasons. But then I got more time, so I had to control all my distractions. And the biggest advantage I had over other students is I listed out all my lapses now.
Yes.
So it was easy for me to find, like I literally had a book where I wrote all my lapses, and once I see it and once I felt confident, हाँ मैंने तो complete किया, I would just stick it. And my lapses I would have at least revised twice every of the labs very properly before our monthly exams or something, like our part tests. Then be like at the like maybe some 3 to 4 months before final exams, my complete focus from, like let's just say, like there are some 6 months more to the final. Like I spent around 2.5 months only to cover my lapses, and at the last time, as many times as I could revise, I revised the whole portion. Like I believe for the final exam, there are for us they just change the pattern 2 months before, like before now, either 180 or 200 questions.
Right.
They come from around 120 chapters or more. So you should have a mind which is capable to jump from one topic to other topic now. So it's very good if you have revised the basics of all the topics. So I kept on revising as many times as possible. Only after my lapses are over. Like getting my lapses over, I struggled with internet mostly. I asked so many my friends. I ate the head of my teachers. Happened.
सो आप बोल रहे थे कि आप अपने लैप्सेस को बार बार रिवाइज कर रहे थे और उस पर ज़्यादा फोकस कर रहे थे. तो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू रिवीजन स्ट्रैटेजी. आपकी रिवीजन स्ट्रैटेजी क्या थी 11th में और 12th में? कैसे आप कवर कर रहे थे? कोई पर्टिकुलर शेड्यूल था कि हाँ एक चैप्टर ख़त्म होने के बाद उस कैसे रिवाइज कर रहे थे आप?
Ma'am, like first few weeks of my revision are literally screwed up because of one thing. Like at the revision time now, like both 11th and like in 11th there is no revision. Like even if there is a revision now, after few days they will cover up a bunch of 11 topics and they say हाँ ये हफ्ता इस इन सब टॉपिक्स पे तो एग्जाम है, एग्जाम तो दे दो बस. But the proper revision starts after your 11th and 12th syllabus completed. At that time now, one thing students take time is to hold on their anxiety. Like now they know they have to cover up a lot of topics. Here comes the thing, while reading one topic now, like they will feel like in the final now, like pakka all topics will come. Even if I study on only this bunch of topics, the other bunch of topics may come to the exam.
Right.
Like if all those come, what will I do?
Right.
Like the starting of revision will be very depressing. Taki what students think is no matter how much I study, like
I might skip something, I might leave something.
Like if those questions come at the first, मैं क्या करूँगा? जो मैंने मिस किया ना वही एग्जाम का आया तो मैं क्या करूँ? Those kind of vibes. Like and moreover, like there are many topics now. It's impossible to cover all the syllabus in one day or 1 week or maybe 1 month. It's impossible. Even if you turn the pages now, it's basically 4 physics books, 6 chemistry books and 2 bio NCERTs. So like it's so
a lot
tough.
of material to
like
cover.
It's a lot of material. Even if you don't read and turn the pages now,
Right.
it will take minimum 4-5 hours. So it's not possible to cover that thing in 1 month. Like at revision, NCERT should be given more priority because after all NTA is conducting NEET, not our coaching institute, and it frames the question from NCERT. Like if you read NCERT more than twice now, you will find some new points striking there and you feel very satisfied. हाँ मुझे एक point मिला. And even if sometimes like one line of NCERT will be contradicting between chapters, so at that time from the question options now we should understand that question was framed based on which chapter and we should keep the answer appropriately. And हो सकता है कि NCERT पे ही गलत है and we may know more. Like maybe it's very obvious what NCERT given is very wrong, but thing is ना examiner makes question from NCERT, right? So हो सकता है कि he just dumped it and made the key sheet, and it's literally impossible to change the NTA key sheet no matter how many claims you give for the, like they just keep it for a formality. We will allow these people to change for the key, but that won't happen. So most of the times we should have a very great command on NCERT, so we can attempt the questions very smoothly. Like there is a big scam what coaching institutes do. Like what they do is not first of the years, maybe that was also a reason, I don't blame, but maybe that was the reason I used to score very less. Like the bump in NCERT itself is very high, but what they do is they ask questions from much tougher thing like their coaching modules. Like हो सकता है maybe Akash, maybe Alan, maybe Chit, maybe anything. Like coaching is actually important for maybe a below average student like me to help in physics and chemistry, but when it comes to bio, like that's a true scam. Like what they do is like if they try to like simple, like they keep at the starting now most of the questions they make from their coaching modules instead of NCERT. So what happens is now student thinks like coaching module is more important than NCERT. If they didn't do that now, like people will be more like anyways this piece of material is useless, we need not buy it now. Like just to market a thing, and to parents and all now, to the outer public they want to show ki like we are teaching so much, so so that's why they fill a lot of useless stuff in their material. Like I tried to open Allen book for morphology once, like it's way too much thing, and there is zero chance for it to be asked in final NEET. Like sometimes it happened in APMT times to 2011 and all. They used to ask 2-3 questions completely out of syllabus. But ma'am, like in my view they are asking just to check that students' mentality. Like if they see a question in the exam paper, they don't know. But my personal suggestion is like focus a lot on NCERT. Even if you miss many points from your coaching module, it's not that serious thing. But you must have a good command on and related topics from NCERT. We must have a great command. Varna NEET is a very tough exam for us. And physics and chemistry, like chemistry ma'am, like even for inorganic, like we should literally mug up every main point of NCERT. Like ratta marna kehte na, we should have those, like while seeing the question now, we must remember that exact topic. Like we must be able to recollect from which chapter it is given, or if possible which side of the page.
Right.
For inorganic,
it should have like a picture memory of that page in your mind too.
Like inorganic requires a lot of practice, and inorganic is scoring. Like no matter how much people did, it's tough, but if you give a lot of time for it just to memorize, like because inorganic is gunshot. Like हो सकता है कि physical में they may ask a very tough question, physical chemistry they may ask a very tough question.
Correct.
Which no one in the country can solve, but inorganic like it gives an edge over those students who studied nothing to those who properly memorized it. Like inorganic plays a major role, and physical chemistry, like we must focus on theory. Like what many students do a mistake is like for physical chemistry, what these people do is they, without proper command on theory, they do a lot of problems, and then they go to the exam. Like ma'am, if we don't have a good command on theory, even if they change a question a bit, we cannot solve. So for physical chemistry, we must have our concepts clear, and if we cannot do more problems, it's okay, because the calculations in physical chemistry won't be as tough as in physics. But like for us, one question in NEET like that was very tough, hectic calculation, and the options were very close. One was 219.2, other was 219.3.
Okay.
Like I would suggest to leave those questions at the first round. Leave those questions at the first time, because we have a hit in inorganic and organic again. NCERT to pape. Give priority even for organic chemistry for NCERT. You need to cross NCERT, that to pakka for organic, but at least try to give a reading for. And physics, ma'am, like it's impossible to read NCERT of all the physics. I would say start with the coaching module first, and before few months of NEET, focus on summaries of second year physics. Mainly when it comes to modern physics part, I would suggest that. Revision time, controlling the anxiety is the biggest part. Like when we focus on one topic we feel like I missed many topics there. So
the pressure keeps on building.
Like I study one topic, I feel like I didn't know anything. But the truth is like when you start observing everyone even those who did good in 11th and 12th, they will forget it. Like it's very volatile, so they will forget it. Even who didn't, like it's basically like how much, like we are just building our probability and confidence to do good in the exam. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि मैं हमारे कोचिंग पे हर एक एग्जाम पे टॉप मार किया, इसका मतलब ये है कि मैं नीट में अच्छा करूँगा. ऐसा कुछ गारंटी तो नहीं है ना. Like all mock tests are only for practice and building confidence. Like we must keep our heads right and clear ki these are not meant for me to depress, they are just meant for me to practice. Like these are just model papers, nothing to get really serious about it. What matters is the only final exam, and that's it. Like our whole preparation ideally it should be molded towards a final itself. Like मैम हो सकता है कि कुछ लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट है कुछ अलग टॉपिक है. What they do is they keep on reading that topic, and they just, like some of my friends were too good in mechanics, like they used to solve very like irrelevant and all, Like those books we recommend for preparation of JEE Advanced, and like that was written by author who did PhD from Russia. So that's not really important for to crack NEET. Like seriously, like who judges a doctor based on his problem solving capacity in physics? Like he must have a good command, but ऐसा नहीं है कि he should solve every tough calculation ना. And हमारे time पे ना, like they changed the pattern just few months before NEET, and molding to that new pattern is also a bit tough. And after all, it's a probability. Like many things can happen on the final day.
Right. So now let's break it into subject wise. So what was your favorite subject out of all three?
My favorite was bio.
So let's take it from biology only. So what was your preparation strategy for biology in regards to class 11th as well as class 12, like as a whole subject, if you can tell our aspirants?
I personally felt from 12th, according to state board it's botany, but according to NTA it's botany. Like genetics, molecular basis of inheritance were much easier while compared with first year thing like morphology or anatomy. So like those topics I had a good command on. For the revision, I left those topics at the first time. I focused on those topics because in the first year I couldn't spend much more. Like even now I don't know what exactly is a flora manual monograph of first year botany. Like it just happened ki I focused more on the first year topics at the starting of my revision. Then even at the time I have to revise my second year. Like genetics is very easy to remember, so I kept more time on my first year. Strategy is mainly follow NCERT. If there is a topic you have a very great command on, you can go much deeper, no issues. But if you like, there will be some clumsy topics for everyone. Like it depends on the person. Like for me, genetics was easy. For a guy, it may be tough. For me, morphology was tough. Like for few of my fellow friends, morphology is very easy. And there are few topics of physiology. One feels it is very easy, and other feel it is so tough to understand.
Right.
So what is very tough for you now? Just cover the NCERT topics and a bit basics about it. Like if you are too clumsy for it, maybe possible at this time you may not get it, at some other time you may get it. But what's important is to be able to answer those questions in the exam. Like you will get a proper command of it once you get to MBBS, and if you actually invest some time on it. So for an inter guy, it's not necessary to go too deep. Just have a proper command on NCERT and a bit related topics. So that was my strategy. Like for bio, hardly focusing on NCERT, like hardcore focusing on NCERT is the biggest role. And my short notes will pakka help. Like they won't give a dokal. Matlab, it's if we make a short notes na, like, and at the end of my short notes I will write all the tough words of a topic. And I presume ki if at that time I was able to recollect all the tough topics and important lines, I used to believe that I know this topic and I used to leave that topic. So short notes will help a lot when it comes to bio. And zoology I couldn't make a proper notes, and botany our teacher helped me to make a proper notes and actually build me interest in few topics. Short notes will help a lot in bio.
Okay. So was there any particular way in which you were making your short notes? Was any strategy of yours while making short notes?
Yes, like basically every chapter, like many students won't observe this, even summary and key points at the end of chapter and even scientist name before are actually like they are probable questions. Like if you see the NEET pattern, like it's possible. So what I do is for a whole unit there will be one scientist, and regarding that whole scientist like his date of birth and all is not important. Like one famous book or its one famous contribution will be very important. I would just write at the start of it in a short notes. I would have wrote that thing and I will never see that scientist thing in the book. I will just say scientist contribution done. Likewise, and for every para there will be few important lines. I used to write the important lines, which sometimes those exact lines would be asked in the exam. And even from the summary, there are few points in the summary which won't be available in the whole topic. Like these things are more prominent in end of physiology, human physiology. Like those topics in the summary they are not even found in the actual text. So even read the summary, even important points from summary I used to write. And at last, every tough word from the topic, every word that is tough or hard to recollect, I used to write in only word. So the next time I see the paper, if I'm unable to recollect one word, I used to just go to the topic and revise.
Correct.
And that was my short notes thing.
Okay. So now let's move on to another subject. Let's take chemistry. So chemistry में आपकी क्या preparation strategy थी class 11 plus class 12 से?
Like most of the class 11th I used to get barely above 100 and below 120, but suddenly after a few days now, like I literally bumped up to 170s and all, because I learned the pattern of chemistry mostly. So chemistry is around like mainly 3 topics, like physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry.
Right.
So inorganic like it's very tough to remember, but it's a very scoring thing. Like, and inorganic NCERT is more than enough, but we should have a proper command. Like we should invest a lot of time, but it's a very easy scoring. Like if a tough question may come in physical, a tough question may come in organic, but a tough question will never come from inorganic. If there is a question from inorganic, it will always be from NCERT, that too mostly a major point. So we must keep on revising. So I had to spend like huge amount of time just to memorize those topics of inorganic chemistry. That was the biggest part in physical chemistry, ma'am. Than to invest the time, we have to get our topics clear. Like let's just say thermodynamics, like calculations of thermodynamics, they were easy for me to understand, but equilibrium part I struggled a lot. So I had to invest around 1 month just for equilibrium and barely 1 hour for thermodynamics calculation at revision time, because like once we get the if our concepts are not clear and I do some 300 problems, and if they change the question a bit, I won't be able to solve. But if my topics are clear, and even if the question is changed a bit, I can do it. And few things of atomic structure and all, they are too tough to interpret. I would just suggest to mug up and just use the formula, keep the answer and move on for physical chemistry. And organic chemistry, NCERT is must, and crossing NCERT is also must. Like हो सकता है आपका कोचिंग मॉड्यूल पे थोड़ा सा ध्यान दो, बट फिर भी NCERT should be given its priority for organic chemistry. And chemistry whole paper attending should get by practice. What happens like in the whole first year and second year, we will have only physical and organic and inorganic. Like we will never have all the 3 things combined. But once all the 3 things are combined, like student will feel less anxious. Like now he knows, like he cannot, like if he has a good command on inorganic, he will be like, now I have good idea about inorganic, so I can focus more on physical and organic. So that's how it happened.
Okay. So let's move on to physics. So what was your preparation strategy for physics with class 11th and 12th?
Ma'am, physics ki, like I wouldn't suggest like to read NCERT for the 11th at the first. So for physics, like go with the flow of coaching. Don't go to too tough problems, and please don't leave any topic in physics. Like every topic which there is a possibility to pop up in the paper, just have a good command of it. We like what few students do, they waste a lot of time on calculating all the stuff. We like in the exam time calculations, we will assume it to be easy, but we should get the concepts to be clear. So we just have good grip on the topics, and in the final, like there will be more like theory based questions, but not on lengthy problems. So don't waste your time on lengthy problems. Get your concepts done. Like start with the coaching module. Once your coaching module all thing is over, so go for the 12th modern physics. Read modern physics NCERT properly, and once we have this 12th class physics NCERT is fine, we can read summary from 11th class NCERT, and summary from 11th class NCERT should be more than enough to attempt all the theory questions. Most of the physics will be problems than theory, and they will be easy problems based on theory. Like theory should be given much importance.
Okay.
And for physics, I think coaching is necessary.
Okay. So Now I think we have covered all the three subjects. We have taken the preparation strategy, revision strategy, short notes, mock test, and everything. So now let's move on to exam day. Like, what was your strategy for one last month of the like before exam day? What was last month's strategy for you? Like, suppose the exam is
last month ki, like at that time na, like every topic of NCERT maximum I read around 15 times and minimum thrice, like every topic depending on my strength on it. When it comes to bio, so I decided ki every topic of bio I should see in the last few days. I kept the harder topics first and lesser, like smoother topics at last. And I don't think last month is not at all a good time to watch any movie or something, because like I feel there is a flow, like you should like you watch a movie and then suddenly you see the exam paper. At the exam paper you will feel the movie song, like that thing happens to me. So it's more like there is a flow while studying. That same flow should continue at least till the exam. After exam we can chill matter or something, but
okay.
so like let's focus more on the last month. And ma'am, like I literally used to keep a tick before every topic. I used to underline, like I used to see the whole page. In the whole page I feel like this is, I'm a bit strong in it, I will leave it. I'm a bit clumsy about it, I'll read it. I don't know this, I used to ask my teacher. If I didn't understand it, I would have left the topic, because final is so close now. I cannot be like stressing myself about a topic which I don't know. I would rather go with all my stuff, like all my knowledge I have. ऐसा नहीं है कि like I don't think even if you have read all the topics completely, you will have a good idea about everything. So that was my thing. And for physics na, like all important formula and all, like you can always find short notes on internet. Just have a Xerox of it, like see all the formulas in maybe one day, and next all days like focus on the topics you are like physics, like go from topics you are strong at then to weak. When it comes to bio now, we'll start from weak to strong, because bio is more like scoring. But physics na, once you complete all your strong, you can assure out of 180 you'll get 140. The other 40 will be from the tough topics. I say those tough topics you will see at last. If you can do it, you can do it. If not, you can just leave it. That used to be my thing.
Okay.
And for chemistry na ma'am, like I used to keep today inorganic, then like no intervening of inorganic and organic. If today is physical, then inorganic, then organic. And I somehow kept my schedule ताकि 15 days before final I would be free. But I just overloaded myself ki I was free 1 week before the final. Like I kept my like
daily schedule.
It was 8 days long for me to complete my own schedule. And the last week before final, I didn't read anything. Like I know I will feel very anxious ki I cannot study anything.
So what exactly were you doing in last week of your exam?
Ma'am, like as I said, no chance for distractions or something. Like even if we try to open a book or read something, it's impossible to, like at least for students like me, to control the anxiety and all. So I don't know, those days just went off. I used to sleep most of the time, and even when I was waking up, I used to play chess with my batchmates, my father and something, but and speak to teachers about my anxiety, and they be, and you know, the few even allowed me to talk with few seniors, and those seniors will come from medical college and be like, "Arey yaar, NEET is a part of life." But when you hear those words now, you feel less anxious. हाँ, NEET बस exam है. Like of course this is a very important link, because till 10 nothing matters. Maybe 10 GPA score bit matters for college admission for future. Now this NEET exam, because of the NEET, we will change our whole college thing. Like it literally decides from, you know, to which college you go and all, which batchmates you will get. So
Correct.
fine, but this is the first time a student, like maybe a person gets a touch of how hard responsibilities will be when you meet seniors now. Like I used to speak with few seniors, Like that thing, those were my last 7 days.
So now let's come to exam day. So did you had any special strategy to attempt the paper, or like you were like we will go with the flow?
Man, this would be weird. Like what happened is now, like just before few months of our exam, final exam, they changed the pattern from 180 questions to 200 questions. Like that time I was adapted to make 180 questions in 180 minutes. Now I should do 200 questions in same 3 hours. At least my my juniors were a bit lucky because they get 200 minutes for the same 200 questions.
Right.
Because that was a serious issue faced by our batch. Like doing 20 more, like I used to, barely I used to have enough time for that.
Revision.
For filling up the 180 questions, now I used to have like that 3 hours would be barely enough for me, and now I have to do this 20 questions more. So like getting all to this situation was a bit tough for me. But then like I made my strategy. This is my personal thing. Again, this thing works because for us botany and zoology were separate, and this wouldn't have happened before. When it was only 180 questions, ma'am, I used to be like biology, chemistry, and then physics. Now like I just jumbled it up. So I used to start on zoology section A first, then botany section A, then chemistry section A, physics section B. Because in the physics section B now we have to choose out of 15 questions. I have to do the best one which I know.
Yes.
Like if I have did those, if I went normally like biology, chemistry, and physics, I used to do all those physics questions at the last. It was too tough for me to pick the which 10 questions I know the best out of those 15. So because the pattern changed, I used to do physics B first, and then bio section B, then chemistry section B, then physics section A. Like physics section A had simpler calculations while compared with physics section B.
Right.
So in physics section A, calculations were easy. So at last, like I'm used to that now. Like at last I used to do physics before. So when situation comes, like there will be a time pressure. So when situation comes a bit tough, I may be like, I can do a physics question now rather than thinking about a point in it. So I did physics section A last.
Okay. So now we have covered all the topics and all. There's one thing I want to ask, like you are studying in AIIMS from 2.5 months, right? So how different is reality from the imagination? Like how I'm sure you would have some imagination that if you go into AIIMS, you'll have this or that, my life would be this. So how different is reality from this imagination part?
Ma'am, like when I used to think about AIIMS Delhi, there was always a grandiosity like AIIMS Delhi to brand hoga, and selection ratio is also very less. So I thought AIIMS Delhi would have much better hospitality, but that shock I came to Delhi like adapting to this temperature. Like just 2 months ago it was very cold here, and now it's very hot here. Like our village it used to be a bit less hot, but throughout the year it would be of same temperature. But here like we don't know when rain comes. Like this is a bit like
Right.
much different temperature. And when it comes to food like I miss all the South Indian masalas present here. Literally. And like as a faculty and all, like AIIMS people are so good. Like there are supportive seniors and all. And Delhi metro is a bit confusing when you are used to Hyderabad metro.
Right.
Food thing, like here South Indian food available here is not good. North Indian food here is good because it's North India. So
that's
like I'm now used to North Indian food.
Okay. So now I think we have covered all the topics. Let's move on to next segment of CTwT, that is rapid fire round, where I'll ask certain questions to you and you have to give answers very quickly. Okay. So the first question is, whom do you text most?
My brother, maybe.
What would be your last Google search?
Can I check it because I forgot?
Yeah, sure.
Mom, it's about Joker movie.
So are you a fan of movies too much, or
Netflix, yeah.
So my next question, do you have Netflix of your own or you use of your friends?
Both.
Oh,
Well, from the home thing now, there are few web series which I won't watch. So
correct. Right. Okay, so
even from the friends thing now, we keep like, I completed this series. Now you complete this. I will start some others or something.
okay. If you get full words attention for 1 minute, what would you say to them?
Like that whole NEET thing is overrated. Trust me. And that bump is also too much. Don't get all the stuff on your mental health. That would be my starting of it. And then like some teenage issues, learn how to deal with all the teenage issues you will get.
Right.
And then that's it. Like I don't think I can actually handle all the world's attention on me.
Okay. So the next question is, what is your favorite song?
Man, like in Fitur movie, there will be a song, Pashmina Dagunge song.
Please sing a line for us.
Pashmina दागों संग कोई आज बुने को आग ऐसे कैसे आदि ही गूंजे कहीं.
Great.
Something like that.
Yes. So
I don't think the lyrics are actually right because I'm not good at Hindi. So.
It's okay. So your next question is, are you a dog lover or a cat lover?
Dog.
What is your favorite season? Winters or summers?
Winter. Matlab, at our place now, winter used to be a bit cold. Like this Delhi thing, no, neither winter nor summer.
Okay. What is your favorite food?
Food, ma'am. I hate, like, I know you will hate me, veg biryani.
That might be a controversy for many people, I can say.
Like, Bismillah, matlab, tomato rice of South India.
Yeah.
Matlab,
Okay.
Sambarish tomato rice of South India.
Got it. What is one foolish thing you did with your own self? Like nobody forced you to do, but you did it. One foolish thing.
In college Zoom text, I texted to the whole batch that I'm very bored in the class. I'm just playing chess. So because of that, they removed me from the class for a few. That is another stupid
I
thing.
think that's a very honest mistake. Everybody tends to do it. Texting on group, official groups or anything.
No. On an official group is different. On a Zoom chat, it's much. Like our principal itna gussa pe tha ki na. I know it's my mistake, but I wish I never did it.
Right.
That was another thing. And the other thing I did is like once just after a few days I joined the college, I ran away from the college with
For
a
what?
500 rupee note. Like I don't know. I thought of running where to my home. With whom? What will I go? I don't know why I ran away. I realized it was very stupid to run away. I just sneaked in at the midnight. Thaki even when night watchman was sleeping, so I just can go inside.
I think according to me, that was the most stupid thing you have did. Just running out in mid of the night. Okay. So those were some
exam pressure. I don't know.
Right. So those were some lovely answers. We have a small token of gift from our team. This is for you.
Thanks a lot.
Sure. So we have one last segment of our CTwT where if you can give one message to the future aspirants who are preparing for NEET this year or next year, what would that message be, please?
Number one thing, like this thing worked for me. Like just before, every day after you wake up now, say yourself strongly, I must do something today. I must revise a topic I'm good at, or I must learn something new, something. I must do some change today. And just at the night time now, say to yourself, marks don't matter, I matter to myself more and all. Like do it every day. That would be my primary message. And second thing, learn to write exam in rounds. Because when you are adapted to write in rounds now, even if you don't get a question in the first turn, you'll be like, okay, fine, I can do it in second or third time. Like when you are used to do the exam in rounds, it will be very easy for you. Like I can do that question in the second time, I can do that question in the third time. So.
Okay, that was really inspiring message. I hope our future aspirants would be getting a lot of points from here. One last thing I want to ask, how was your experience coming down to for CTwT interview? How was overall experience of yours?
That gift was way too shocking for me. Like I think this is the first interview I'm going after I came to Delhi or something.
Okay.
So like MBBS starting was very tough for me. Again, this time this interview now actually reminded me this much thing happened in my life. So it was a good experience.
It was a flashback journey for you, I
Yeah,
suppose.
like unexpected more.
Right.
More like, it was more like a sudden for me. It's not key. It's planned from few days or something.
Right. So guys, this was Shashank. I hope आप लोग ने बहुत कुछ सीखा होगा इनकी preparation journey से. We'll be back with another episode. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.